You know what I really like about them is that I feel like there is a healthy balance of people supporting each other but also loving one another. They have so many inside jokes and it's so dynamic whenever they're talking to each other, but at the same time I feel like there is a mutual respect for what they're doing. Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video we have another video about the one, the only, the beautiful and the amazing Heart Evangelista. But this time it's a special video because she is not alone. She is actually with her husband Chiz Escudero, and they came up with a video that they decided to title Adulting 101. Now, a lot of you guys have been requesting for this video for quite some time because if you've been around my channel, you know that I've made quite a few reactions about Heart Evangelista, and she is one of the celebrities slash artists that keeps on coming back to my channel because I really appreciate her as a person, but also her mentality, her philosophy, and you know, just her as a person overall. But right before we get into that, the only thing I'm gonna ask from you is that you leave a like on my videos, that it gets recommended to more people, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day, and last but not least, let me know in the comment section if you agree with my comments and my reactions, and at the same time, what did you think about the conversation that she was able to have with her husband. So without further ado, my friends, let's get into today's video. I really hope that you enjoy.
Be strong.
Hi guys.
Hello.
To my home. Welcome to our kitchen. A lot of you curious what goes on here. My husband say hi babe. And
Hi, darling.
he doesn't really call me darling. I'm here to ask you a few questions, and hopefully people get to know you the way I see you. And dalawa lang yan. May ilan sila. But, okay, I have a few questions. Like, I want to share with people like how it is with like me, my problems in terms of like love.
May problem ba sa love?
Hindi, kasi when we talk about love or past, mga ganyan.
Yung problem.
Problem mo yan. Past, finances, shopping, getting a job, being out there, mga ganyan.
Mature stuff.
Adulting with Senator Chiz.
Hey, okay. I really like that intro, you know. They really just presented it as a casual conversation that they're gonna have about many of the things that, to a certain extent, I feel like are a little controversial about Heart. And what I mean when I say controversial is that everyone seems to have a different opinion, you know? Whenever I make a video about Heart, a lot of people come here and they send a lot of love. Some people come and send hate. So I feel like this was her way of kind of like showing her perspective and her husband's perspective about this topic and just put it up there for people to make up their mind. And you know, at the end of the day, the audience is going to believe whatever they want to believe, but at least this is going to allow them to tell their own version of the story.
Okay. We put questions together. I hope you don't mind.
I
So
hope
yeah,
you don't
my first
mind.
question.
Kailangan ko sagutin talaga lahat yan.
Yes.
Okay.
My first question would be, how did you choose your path? Like, kunwari, what you wanted? Did you always want to become like a senator or a politician? I mean, because that's really a calling. Ako hindi ko kaya yun. Like, how did it start?
Am I going to English or...
Kahit ano, dear.
Yes. Ever since I was
English,
young, I wanted
please.
to be a politician. In fact, when I was in grade 1, when my teacher asked me what I wanted to be, I said, president of our class. And as you grow older, you realize some things aren't meant to be, some things aren't for you and they're for other people, and you get to adjust. And you get to choose the best answer insofar as what you will do for the rest of your life. In my case, it's just looking after you.
Wow!
Charotero.
They're not paying for my card.
No. Looking after doesn't include that.
Okay, so what was your first job? Did you take a break after school, or were you the super study all the way?
Mula elementary hanggang college, wala ako kahit isang honor.
Correct.
Nagkaroon na ako ng honor ng College of Law na ako because I liked what I was doing. In fact, after graduating from high school, I thought there was a course called Law after high school. Apparently, there wasn't any. So I had to take up a pre-law course. I chose the closest one to law, which I thought was close enough, which was at that time political science. My first job as a teaching assistant at the Department of Political Science
Okay.
at UP.
Sino yung mga naging student mo?
Hindi ko nakilala eh. Hindi ko
Meron ka
nakilala.
ano eh.
No, when you're a teaching assistant, you don't get to stand in front of a class.
Okay.
You arrange the papers, the readings, you check the papers. But no, I didn't get to stand before a class and lecture. I was a teaching assistant of then Professor Olive Kawili.
How old were you this time?
Okay, wait, before they keep moving into the questions, I have to admit that so far from Chiz, this is kind of the typical path that I was expecting, you know? Him going to school, being really good at it, and then kind of finding his way into politics, you know? He's explaining here how he wanted to become a lawyer. When you think about it, like being a lawyer and being a politician is not that far away. Like, it just makes sense that he would end up being a senator. However, what I really liked about what he was telling us is the fact that in the beginning he wanted to be the president of the class, but didn't happen. And right there is a very important piece of information that sometimes you realize the more that you grow older, that there are things in life that are not meant for you. And that doesn't mean that because that was your dream or that was your goal, that now everything is over. There are still other things that you can accomplish in life. There are other things that you can try and explore. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. So don't close yourself to the possibilities. Give yourself a chance. Open door for opportunities, and you know, exciting things are gonna happen.
18.
18?
18. So young.
Wow, grabe naman, taas naman. So wait, but like for normal people that aren't as smart as you, like like me, how would we choose our careers like in our 20s to 30s?
Oh.
The problem is, given the fast-paced developments in technology, whatever they teach you in school will be outdated by the time you graduate.
True.
So you can't really prepare and study for a career after you graduate. You just kind of wade your way through. In my case, I wanted to become a lawyer. So I applied as a teaching assistant because I was waiting for the LAE, the Law Entrance Exam admissions, to come out. So I was saying to myself, if I didn't pass, this is the career path I'll take. I'll be a political science professor.
Okay.
And I'll do studies or whatever and be a political scientist or analyst, basically.
Okay.
But lo and behold, I passed, so I took up law.
But that's for you. Like a lot of people have like troubles. Like for their first day when they apply for a job, what are the do's and don'ts? Like how do you present yourself? Ano yung mga kailangan mong gawin na ma-impress yung tao? I remember like for me with my job, like when even like today, you'd always tell me, wag ka masyadong, like last night you told me, wag ka masyadong everywhere, wag ka masyadong out there.
I'm applying for a job. I only applied twice.
Okay.
Thrice actually. I was rejected by the first two. I applied in 2 law firms.
Where? Who?
Isimbing, Torres and Evangelista, and Poblador Law Office.
Ah.
Go get them now, huh?
No, they didn't really reject me. They just didn't call me back.
I'm sure they regret it now.
So
they're my friends now.
In short, rejected then.
In a way, they didn't call me back. There was no callback in your lingo.
Yeah.
There was no callback. So I applied next at Bautista Picasso in their QC office, and I was accepted. Actually, I preferred that office more than the previous ones I applied for, principally because of the location.
Okay.
I lived in Quezon City, so the office was in Quezon City. My boss at that time, Professor Bautista, wasn't the type who would wear a suit every day because his house was right behind
So
our office.
very
so
casual.
Very me.
Casual day.
So I got to wear jeans. I got to wear jeans.
Oh,
literally
chinelas.
shorts level, with a suit and a tie.
Really?
He was seated behind his big desk, so I felt more comfortable. And QC has always been my comfort zone.
Oo nga pansin ko eh.
Hindi naman nag-ibis kasi masyado yung mga tao. Dito doon, puro nakaporma yung mga tao. Hirap naman sumabay sa ganun.
Teka, I have a question.
I don't understand this part,
So
but
like what
whatever.
I'm doing, I'm gambling most of the time.
You're?
Yeah, in my career. I mean, it's always a gamble. You invest on how you look, what you wear. Like, wait lang! Like, for me, like, I feel that when you dress a certain way, it'll all follow. So my question would be, how do you feel about people, like, do what you love, and then the money comes after? Like, follow your heart type of thing.
It depends.
Are you more realistic? Like, kailangan mo yung doktor ka para sure win na to, or...
It depends. There are the lucky ones who actually, these things land on their lap. It depends on what you need at a particular point in time in your life. If you need money, then go to where it pays well. It won't last if you don't like what you're doing, though. So at some point in time, you will find your equilibrium, and you will find what you will be doing for the rest of your life. For some, it will be different stuff until they grow old.
Yeah.
For some, it will be the same thing from the beginning till the end.
I like that. And, you know, I would actually like to comment on this because I feel like the last 2 points that they've been talking about, whether it's like choosing your careers in your 20s and also following your dreams. It's such a big subject, especially for millennials. Up to this day, you know, I kind of like ask myself why I went to school in communications, because I actually graduated from university in communications, and I honestly feel like all of the information that I was provided, all of the tools that I was given, they were telling me about theories from 1800s and 1900s, and up until this day I still don't know how to apply that to our current communication system, or how to use that to develop my communication skill. By the time that you graduate, the landscape looks completely different. So it's very hard for you to come up with a diploma and feel like you know and you master everything. Now, when it comes to following your dreams, I also agree with what he had to say, and the fact that sometimes you have to go where you need to be. If you need money right now, go where it pays well. If you are financially stable but you are not happy with your job, then maybe think of changing something, you know, like something that has maybe like a similar pay, but at the same time it's a little more passionate for you, it's a little more interactive. What I always ask myself personally is, what is my definition of happiness, of success, of I've made it? Success can look very different for a lot of people, and at the end of the day, what really matters is that you feel accomplished with whatever you're doing in life, that you feel comfortable. You know, a lot of people are going to require a lot of money, a lot of, you know, material things, but other people might need a lot of motivating things and inspiration and things that they perceive as being meaningful. So it really depends at the end of the day, whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel like you are an accomplished person, and finding the right balance between those things.
It really depends. It depends on your fortune, so to speak.
Okay, in connection to that, thoughts about how to balance...
Interview talaga?
Yes, dear, importante to. Madaming matutunan. Thoughts about how to balance passion and practical income making.
Okay.
Yung iba maswerte,
this is what we were just discussing.
You get to do what you want and at the same time earn from it. Others aren't as lucky. About 80 or 90% don't really like what they do. They just happen to be there. But that does not take away the fact that there's an opportunity for you or anyone else to do what you like to do outside of work. Hindi naman 24/7 yung trabaho. So outside of work, you can still engage in whatever you're passionate about.
That's true. Look at me doing YouTube after work.
Makeup on your face, or dressing up, or doing whatever.
Yeah.
Going to the shooting range, whatever your passion may be. I mean, you don't really have to be good at it as long as you engage in it. That's the important part.
Wise words.
Okay, ito yung pinaka-interesting part.
Wise words, Mr. Escudero.
No, dear. Yes, in connection to that, this is something that we talk about, like, the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. Judgment day for me. A lot of people don't know that. I grew up, my mom was handling all my money. I had no control of anything. I would sign blank check, a whole book, 2 booklets actually, and I didn't know how much I was making in a day, mga ganyan. Blah, 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 blah. So when I met you, that was the first time that I experienced, you know, and found out how much I was making. And so I enjoyed my money to the fullest. Tumodo ako in short. So, my question would be, what would be like, for fresh grads, what would be the wisest investment? What's the first thing that you should spend your money? You started to teach me that. Like, for people that just graduate, what do you think would be a
Before you can invest, you should first save.
Okay.
No money to invest with if you don't save.
True.
In your case, remember, umiiyak ka nung pinapapunta kita sa bangko para mag-fill out ng form. I wanted you to do it from the start. Open an account. Actually, but you're not doing it anymore because Tressie's there. Open an account, sign your own checks, know the balances, because you have to go through that nitty-gritty so that you know exactly how much you're earning and so that it'll hurt if you spend out. By the way, we have a prenup. What's hers is hers. What's mine is also hers.
What?
No, it wasn't my idea. It was actually Miriam Defensor's idea, Tita Miriam.
So basically, prenup says what's hers is hers and what's mine becomes hers na rin. So.
Talaga? Sweet mo naman.
He's a little charotero, isn't he?
What is...
You know what I really like about them is that I feel like there is a healthy balance of people supporting each other but also loving one another. They have so many inside jokes and it's so dynamic whenever they're talking to each other, but at the same time I feel like there is a mutual respect for what they're doing. You know, he was just explaining that they have a prenup, and a lot of people get offended whenever a prenup is brought up before a marriage because they think like, oh, we're just gonna get married now, but you're already thinking of what's gonna happen if we get a divorce. Well, it's not about that. It's about protecting what's yours and then protecting what's mine, you know, because each one of us is working really hard for our objectives, And in a situation where, you know, we need to separate, or in a situation where our paths, you know, might divide, each one of us gets to keep whatever we worked so hard for. So I really admire for being mature enough to have that conversation. So definitely props to both of them, and also respect to both of them for having this attitude in life.
On and what to invest on.
Basic rule. Anything that's on sale, if you don't need it, is expensive. That's a basic rule I follow. If there's something you want, you don't have to buy it the first time you see it. You have to see it several times before finally making a decision whether or not you really need it and want it, and whether or not you'll buy it. In my case, that's what happens. So if I go through that hump, I end up buying, if it's shoes, one brown, one black. If it's shirt, one black, one blue, one white.
Can I just say, yung closet niya, grabe. Oh my God. Sobrang, but ang galing.
Pare-pareho ko.
Minimalist, pero talagang yung kung anong sapatos niya 20 years ago, yung pa rin, unless bilhin ko para sa kanya po. But then everything else is like, belt, black, brown, yan. Yun lang. Polo, white, blue, yun lang. Wala na iba, may black naman din. May gray naman pag
They are opposites, but they attract one another.
Sure. But that's it. Okay. Ito, bagay ito sa'yo, but I don't know if it's in a good way or bad way. In the beginning, it might look bad, but how will you slowly become independent from your parents? Like, kunwari some, it's a problem here. Some are the breadwinners, are some, like, is it time for you to do something for yourself?
Being independent should not be an objective. In a Filipino setting, you're never really away or apart from your own family. Your parents, or from the point of view of the parents, their children. Hindi ito parang sa Amerika na pag 18, lumayas ka na sa bahay na to, dapat meron ka ng trabaho, meron ka titiran. Hindi naman ganun dito eh.
Never tayo.
So that should not be an objective. That should not be a goal, a dream, to be independent from your parents. Because you deciding on your own with or without them, and them deciding on their own with or without you. It's a question of helping out each other given your capacity and their capacity as well. So being independent should not really be an end-all be-all. It's like I'm speaking for my future self. I want to tell my kids that, hey, you don't really have to unless you need to or want to. But then again, parents will always be parents. They'll always be there for you, whether you like it or else.
That is such a true statement. And you know, I can definitely relate to that, because coming from Cuba, we have a very similar value system when it comes to living with our parents or even supporting our family. It's not something that we expect you to leave the house at a certain age. You can definitely do it if you want to do it, but in Cuba, it's mostly about gaining a certain level of independence. Let's say, like, you might build a house next to your parents, or you might build on top of your parents' house, so that you have some privacy and you get to live your life. But it's not like we expect you to just move and go away and like do your life and I'll do mine. When it comes to this aspect, I feel like Filipinos and Cubans have more in common than maybe Americans and Filipinos. I wouldn't personally mind to live, for example, with my mom if I was in a relationship, or if I had kids, or whatever happens, you know. I don't mind the presence of my parents. I feel like family members really have a role that they can play, especially if you have kids. You know, it's important to have relatives around them to help you with the kids, to help you, you know, educate, and to help them become better people. It's a beautiful thing to have your parents around you, to have your grandparents, you know. It's a privilege, actually.
So now, Ate Rusty, serious time. Ako na yung chair. Upo na ako.
Oh.
Okay, so let's talk about love.
Love.
Yes.
You're the shy type guy. How did you survive? Like, I don't see you. You're never the type na, I don't know, parang a lot of people are curious, like, how did you hit on me, or how was
Did I
it?
hit on you?
No, I mean, parang wala kang naramdaman. So parang you survived before me. Like, when you asked out your ex, like, how?
Oh, we're talking about
In school, how were you?
My first girlfriend was I was a late bloomer. Third year college.
Okay.
Before
that, never ka naligo na kahit yun, naka naging crush or ano? Paano mo
NBK.
kinonfront yun?
NBK nga, never been kissed.
Diba?
I was how old? I think...
Talo pala kita.
Mamaya ka. I was how old? I think I was 17 at that time. 17.
Never been kissed.
Turning 17. Or turning 17.
Ano now? 19 na ako, first kiss ko lang. 18.
Late bloomers! I started at 14, I think.
Ano yun? Okay na yun.
Makarot!
Mga shy guys like you, na sobrang torpe that usually they miss the love of their life, kinasal na sa iba, hindi na nila nasabi na minahal kita at mahal pa rin kita and I'm so happy but we didn't end up together.
Kalahati lang yung kasalanan niyo pag ganun dahil yung babae dapat nagsalita rin at hindi lang ikaw.
So in short, feeling mo, kung yung babae, mararamdaman niya may gusto ka sa kanya kahit wala ka pinapakita. Debate
yan sa amin ng college. Kailan nagsisimula ang panliligaw? Sa punto de vista ng lalaki, mula nung bigyan ka niya ng special na attention sa akin, panliligaw na yan. Sa punto de vista ng babae, dapat magtanong ka na muna at doon pala magsisimula yan.
Okay.
Hindi yung attention lang na pakit-pakit lang. Okay. And that has always been a conflict in our generation.
Okay.
Now it's different, I guess. Your generation is more open.
True.
And there's a very small distinction between men and women when it comes to expressing themselves.
True. Paano ka manligaw? So a lot of people feel
Ikaw, paano ba?
Actually, a lot of people have a misconception na parang feeling nila, binigay mo sa akin yung buong mundo, or feeling nila...
Ang bigat naman nun?
Oo, ganun nga yung iniisip nila. Feeling nila, siksik, lilig, ganon. But...
So, kailangan ko magbigay ng buong mundo bago mo ako
mag-gusto, di ba? Dahil, kaya nga, how did you do it? Because for me, I think what people don't know, the first ever time that you took me out on a serious, like, it was a serious thing. At 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, we rode a jeep.
Oh.
Kaya, tata mo na Lali. Mas nakakilig ko ikaw ng kwento. Ako parang hindi buhay masyadong kinilig. Baka lumaki yung ulo.
Kasi, buong buhay niya, hindi pa rin siya nakakasakay ng jeep. Kaya pumarada ako malapit sa bahay namin dati sa may Kitanlad. Mas kakaiba pa yun.
Teka, kumain muna tayo sa
that
place?
Was after.
Okay, after.
That was after.
Okay.
Nirentahan namin yung jeep. Natakot yung mama na baka daw matrip cutting siya. Sabi ko, gabi naman na, renta to, which is an exemption. Hindi niya kami pareho nakilala.
Actually, pero kinikilig siya ha. Pero hindi niya ma-place.
Mula sa may Kitanlad, sa may Welcome Rotunda, kasi yun yung sinasakyan ko noon, although walang direction jeep noon, hanggang feel ko wala yung jeep, hanggang bantraan ko lang yung jeep. Umikot kami ng UP, isang ikot lang. Sa University Circle, tapos balik ulit ng Welcome. Tapos pagkatapos nun, kumain kami ng siomai sa may Aberdeen Court.
I honestly feel that there is no right or wrong way of doing these things. I mean, sometimes you have to go with the chemistry, sometimes you have to go with the flow. And I was just thinking about it as he was explaining it, but how does one ask someone like Heart out? I mean, I would be super intimidated because of the fact that she's such a big personality, but at the same time, she had this reputation, she has this fortune, you know. Also the fact that back in the day, as she was explaining, she was being fully controlled by her parents and like she was not really in control of anything. So how do you insert yourself into that context and then take it from there and start to know the person and not necessarily the persona, like the reputation, but Heart as a human being? What I'm learning from this video so far is that most of the things that I was expecting from them, when it comes to like the way of thinking, yes, they are definitely delivering, like we're on the same page. When it comes to them as human beings, like, you know, like falling in love and following financial advice, they have very interesting perspectives that I was not necessarily expecting from them. And that is a good thing because that means that I'm learning from this video. I'm getting to know them on a more personal level, but also getting some of that knowledge and I'm definitely going to apply it to myself. So win-win situation.
There were people from GMA there.
I don't remember.
Yes,
but it was the first time I ate there. It's nice. It was different, but it was nice.
Different?
That's what... No, I mean, it was nice.
Yan usually yung sinasabi ng ayaw man lait eh.
Are we going to witness a little fight on camera?
Does a man need to pay 50-50? Uso ba sa'yo yun? Anong thoughts mo doon?
No. Might as well bring her to a restaurant you can afford and then pay 50-50.
Tama. Cute ka doon. Okay. What is the wise amount to spend on dates? Mga tipid meal dates.
Oh.
Yung siomai natin ng mga 300 lang yun.
20 pesos. No, just kidding. Chara!
Jeep din, mga... ano binigay sa jeep? 500 yata.
Oh, yan, medyo bumahal kasi nga nag-ano tayo.
Wala yan.
Pero after that, nag-kiss na tayo. Oh. So...
May ganun ba nun?
Oo, no. After that.
Sa chick?
It's a check. Okay, ito a bit more serious. So, not a lot of people get to talk to you about your love life. I get to talk to you about your love life.
May nagtanong na sa akin.
Pero wala siya dito. Hindi ko
Tinanong
natatakot ako kung sino nagtanong
Tinanong ako ng reporter kung Dakota Harrison ako.
Oh my God. Yeah. Skip. Okay. Hindi yun serious, dear. Dirty yun. Okay. How would you recover from a breakup?
Oh, you look for things that, first and foremost, that can and will keep you busy.
Like?
Take care of my kids at the time. Run the campaign of some of my friends at that time.
What was your best friend? What was your drink at the time? Choice of drink?
Wine. I just drink wine.
And,
but we would finish, I don't know.
What are your life lessons about love and breakups? Like, ano may sinasabi ka?
Ano sinasabi ko? Ayoko baka magamit mo palaban sa akin.
Hindi! First, stupid, yeah, mga tips mo ganyan about breakups.
Not really.
Tips about love.
Not really in love. Also in politics, even in business, it's the same rule. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
True.
That's so true.
So, kung naloko ka, siya yung may kagagawa nun. Kung nagpaloko ka ng pangalawang beses sa parehang tao, ikaw na yung dapat sisihin mo.
Okay. Toughest lessons you've learned in the real world, and what are the harsh realities of a 20-something will most likely face?
It's all about getting up. Getting back up again. Nobody lives a perfect life, really. Even you. All of us go through several humps in life. You never count the number of times you fall. You simply count the number of times, as they usually say in a cliche,
that you get up.
You get up.
Yep.
And that's what matters the most. That's what counts, actually.
That's a very good lesson right there. That's an extremely important lesson right there. And if you're watching this video, I hope that you're taking notes right now. I mean, no one, doesn't matter like the status, how much money you have, like how many privileges you have in life. Everyone has good and bad moments, and what really matters is that you learn from those situations and that you get up and you keep going. I also really agree, and that's an expression that I already knew before watching this video, is that fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And that means that sometimes, you know, you gotta learn from your lessons. When someone does you dirty, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to forgive, but don't forget, don't fall into the same trap twice. You can apply that to love, you can apply that to work, you can apply that to business. It doesn't matter what you do. Always try to learn from your experiences and from your mistakes. Because at the end of the day, I think that that's the reason why they even exist, so that we can learn and we can avoid them going forward.
Like, I think with you, people don't always get like what you go through, the magnitude of the things that you need to face. Like, how do you deal with anxiety, pressure, depression?
Wow.
Because I've never seen you cry.
Real questions.
Actually.
No.
Even when your dad passed, not a single job.
No.
And even when there's like a problem in the household, you're always like you're playing poker.
Because you can't afford to do that. When a lot of people rely on you, when a lot of people look up to you, whether they're your kids, your wife, other people, you can't show weakness or that you're breaking. Otherwise, everyone else will break. It's like the domino effect.
True.
So in our family, when my dad passed, I had to do that. It's the role at that time I had to play. So just like a friend of mine, his wife passed about 8 years before. That was the only time he cried, after 8 years. While watching...
Steven Seagal's movie.
No, not Steven Seagal. Octagon. It's an old movie by... Sino yung karatista?
Wala, dear. Masyado na luma.
Masyado na luma yan. Kahit ako, yun ang unang sino na panood ng bata ako. So, masyado na luma talaga yan.
Medyo luma yun. 1985 ako pinanganak.
Doon lang niya na-realize.
1985 ka nag-high school graduate.
Oo nga. May problema ka dad?
Wala ka.
Naman ako.
Doon niya na-realize.
Doon lang niya na-realize na...
I just have to tell you guys that I really don't understand anything that they're saying in Tagalog. So thank you, Jesus, for the subtitles. And this is just making me anxious about speaking Tagalog because I don't ever see myself talking this fast.
Doon na siya naiyak. Nagtataka siya ba siya umiyak, and he was able to pinpoint yung pagkawala ng asawa niya 8 years before. So, ganun din siguro. I think he had to be strong for his kids because he has kids. He had kids with his first wife. And the same is true with his mom, who was still alive at the time. So, I think may kanya-kanya lang naman tayong papel.
Okay, so you're turning 49 this October. With everything that you've been through in life, what have you learned? And what do you think is your purpose? Like, what is your mission?
Hindi ko pa rin alam. it should be a constant search. It should be, you should never be satisfied, really. You should never stop searching for whatever it is else, whatever else you can do. Wala kasi kang mga mission vision eh. You handle and take in what's thrown at and given to you, and basically make the best out of it. Pag nag-ending ka na kasi, wala na. Malulugay ka na. So, I mean, just continue on doing what you like doing. Ikaw, may mission ka ba sa buhay?
Actually, hindi ko na alam.
Anong mission mo sa buhay?
Hindi ko na alam eh. Kaya nga, tatanong ako.
Sa tingin mo, bakit ka nilikha ng Diyos para mabuhay dito sa mundong ibabaw na ito para sa amin?
Well, I think like, serial ako ba talaga?
Oo nga, tinatanong kita.
I mean, I enjoy my life, but I feel that God put me in a certain position to also, I know it's cliche and very beauty queenish, but to really give back and share what you have to inspire people. I mean, with what I do with fashion or whatever, people think it's shallow, people think it's kaartehan, but really it's uplifting the other person. Like, I get inspired when I see a woman dressed,
tell them, girl,
conquering the world, and I feel like I can do it too. And I feel like if I could do that also with somebody who's also looking for that push or that inspiration, you know, then I've served my purpose. And not just one thing, but also it's like whenever I have the chance to create awareness about a certain charity, I'm not so open about, you know, what I do for people. And the moment you say you're humble, that's what you say?
Anyone who says they're humble isn't anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So I would just like to give back the best way that I can.
So ngayon ako,
let it be known out there that Heart is a woman of substance. That's why I really like her personality, why I admire her on a personal level. That's because I feel like she is honest, she is true, she is not pretending to be like this perfect lady living in a crystal castle or having like this amazing fortune and not having any problems. Of course she is a privileged person. Of course she has a privileged lifestyle. But I feel like at the end of the day, she's trying to give back the best that she can to her community, to her people. And she's also helping other people, inspiring them through fashion, through her work as an artist. You know, there are so many things that she does that you can actually look up to and you have to learn. And yes, I'm sure that she does a lot of charity, but at the same time, giving back doesn't always mean giving money. You can give back to the community, you can give back to people by inspiring, by leading by example, by showing them how to handle certain situations in life. So I honestly feel like possibilities are endless.
Alam ko na purpose ko sa buhay. With your answer. I'm here to provide the contrast to make you look even more beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, it was so nice meeting you, Senator Chiz Escudero. Thank you so much for gracing our show. I'm just kidding. But really, thanks. And yeah, I hope you guys learned a thing or two from Mr. Chiz over here. Well, Senator Chiz over here. I'm glad I married him, and I hope you guys find somebody like him.
Sana all! Well, you guys, this conversation certainly did not disappoint. I was expecting a lot of substance, and a lot of substance was delivered. Like I was telling you earlier, I feel like we do agree in a lot of points, and I'm not surprised by that because I've said this like 100,000 times on my channel, but Cubans and Filipinos have a lot in common when it comes to the mentality, to the values. So a lot of the things that they discuss when it comes to money, when it comes to education, when it comes to family, are really aligned with my personal values as well. What I was able to discover through this video, and that I'm really happy about that, is that I got to know them more on a personal level when it comes to their dynamic, to their marriage, how the chemistry works between the two of them, especially because Heart and Chiz were kind of a controversial couple at first, you know, because of the entire scandal with the family and the parents not being on board with it, and then they don't show up to the wedding, and it's like so much drama. But ultimately, I feel like these two are together because they truly love each other and because they complement one another. It's not about money, it's not about fame, it's all about support, it's all about respect, and it's all about uplifting one another. That was my reaction to this video, and those were my comments. But now it's time for you to express yourself. Go down in the comment section and let me know, what did you think about this video, about everything that was discussed? Is there a particular question or an answer that really touched you on a personal level? While you're at it, please don't forget to leave a like on my videos so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, come here and give me a hug, because that's a little tradition on this channel. You know that I love you, that I appreciate you. Thank you for coming and spending a few moments out of your day here with me. And until I see you next time, please Stay safe, be kind to one another. Sending you all my love. Sending you all my love, all my kisses, and see you on the next one. Bye.